All right. Welcome in to Views from the Stands. It is a Tuesday, and we are ready to get this thing going tonight, man. We have a fun-filled show for you tonight. It's just me and the GMG, Mike, and we have a very special guest for you tonight. It's Paul Napper, the author of the brand new book that just dropped this week, Moses Malone, A Basketball Prophet. So we're going to talk some hoops with him. He's going to actually join us for our Down Bad debate tonight, too, so that's going to be a lot of fun. We also have that major trade deadline. Colts made some major moves. Cowboys made some major moves. You know we're going to be talking about that. Both of us may have got some saviors in there. But like I was saying, too, we also have the college football playoffs officially ranking week one. It's coming out tonight, so we're hopefully going to be able to catch that live and be able to respond and go with it as we go on, as it goes live. So, Mr. G, Mike, why don't you go ahead and let the good people know what you have going on so we can get this show started, my man.
Yes, sir, guys. If you're into sports gambling, I'm your boy. I'm your guy. I run a Telegram channel where we could offer sports gambling slips daily and get you winnings daily, $10 to $50 to $100, or just paying $10 a month. And we have an affiliate program, a referral program where we could get you extra money on the side as well. If you're watching the live episode, you'll see the link pop up in the chat right now. Or if you're watching the recorded episode, it's going to pop up on your screen. And after that, you'll see my DMs. If you want to slide in my DM, start a conversation on how we could get you on and popping, do so, baby. Do so. We got some NBA picks tonight. We love it. We love it.
Absolutely, man. We also want to give a shout out to one of our best supporters out there, man. Varsity Sports Nation. You want live high school sports? They got you. You want college sports? They got you, man. You want live content like you're watching now? They got you as well. We've been doing really well on there, and we really appreciate all the numbers. The best part about the app is that you can download it. It's on your iOS, your Android, your Roku TV, Apple TV, Fire Stick, anywhere you got your social medias. So please give them a like and subscribe. And as you're doing that, please give us a like and subscribe as well. We also want to give a shout out to Podmatch. We have been working with Podmatch for the last couple of weeks. It's been really helping us out. That's actually where we found our special guest tonight was on there. So we really appreciate what they've been doing. And so please, if you're interested in any kind of podcasting, that's a great company to work with, and they can help you out a lot with that. But like we were saying before, without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in our special guest tonight. Let's welcome in Mr. Paul Napper. How you doing, my friend?
All right. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, man, I'm super excited about this, man. So the book is officially dropping November 1st, correct?
Yeah, that's right. It's out. It's available.
That's
I'm pretty
fantastic,
excited.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the book is, if you didn't hear something from the start here, it's Moses Malone, The Life of a Basketball Prophet. Paul, man, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about Moses Malone and what was the motivation behind the book?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was I consider myself kind of a basketball historian, and I've written a lot about the game and read a lot about the game. And I didn't know a great deal about Moses Malone. I knew he was a great player. I knew I knew the broad strokes. I didn't know a great deal about him. And so I started to dive in a little bit and was like, wow, this guy's got a great story. And it really starts with, in 1974, he was the first modern day player to go straight from high school to pros, which was extremely difficult at that time. And then he went on to become really the best player in basketball. He won 3 MVP awards. He's one of only 9 guys to do that in NBA history. Won 3 or more MVP awards. He was the best player on one of the best teams ever, the 1982-83 76ers. He's by far the greatest offensive rebounder in basketball history. And so, but nobody talks about him. Nobody talks about Moses. And I thought between his incredible career and being a trailblazer as the first to go pro, I just thought there was a lot of great material in there, a great story on him. And I wanted to kind of bring his story to light, particularly for the younger generations who didn't get to see him.
Yeah, and that's exactly, we were talking off camera as well. It's like, I know the name. If you like basketball, you know the name, but did you really know his story? So what is some of the stuff that you found that was interesting that some people may not know about Moses growing up, or just in general? What did you find interesting about Moses?
Yeah, I mean, I love that. I love the stuff from his childhood. I love learning about that. Moses was part of the title is, I call him a basketball prophet. When he was 14 years old, he wrote down on a piece of paper that he was going to be the greatest high school player in the country by the end of his junior year. And he tucked that note into the family Bible. And it was a crazy prediction at the time because he'd only been playing for a few months. He had no skills at all. He lived in a town where there wasn't much talent. There was no reason to ever possibly believe that would happen, but it did. And then at the end of his junior year, when he fulfilled that prophecy, he made another, which was that he was going to be the first player to jump straight from high school to pros. And again, that's inconceivable. It took place just a year later. Nobody was talking about it. He wasn't on like the NBA or ABA's radar at that time. It didn't seem like something that could happen, and then it did. And then the crazy, just some of the best stuff about him was the recruiting wars that went on for him to go to college, and all the things that were promised to him and his family and his friends and his coaches, and some of the stories around that were really crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so as a recap here too, we got Mr. Paul Napper here. A book is out now. You can find it on Amazon. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Moses Malone, The Life of a Basketball Prophet. We're just going over some of the highlights of it. That was really interesting too about writing out. That's such a cool title that you came up with as well, The Basketball Prophet. Basing it off of that, I would have never known that really. So that's pretty good. So was he one of the stars of the ABA, or was he like the merger into the NBA? How did that whole process go?
Yeah, so he started off in the ABA. The ABA drafted him straight out of high school, and he played 2 years in the ABA. They were rocky years. It was the end of the ABA. The first team he was on was the Utah Stars, and they folded, basically early in the second season. And so he got shipped to St. Louis, and they were drawing like 1,000 people a game. At that point, it was crazy. And then at the end of his second season, the ABA folded. It basically, they merged into the NBA. Four of the teams joined the NBA. But Moses was an all-star in his first season in the ABA, but nobody was really paying attention. The ABA just wasn't getting that kind of attention. They didn't have a television deal. So it was once he came over to the NBA, and that was a weird start. He came over to the Trailblazers. He was with the Trailblazers for training camp. Then they traded him to the Buffalo Braves for a week. And after a week, the Braves traded him to the Houston Rockets. And once he got in Houston, he kind of took off and became, he was still young. It took him a few years to reach his prime. But once he did in the late 70s, he was really the best player in the game. And he won a couple of MVPs in Houston. And then he went and signed with Philly. And that's kind of what he's best known for, because he won a championship in Philly. And he's known for the famous line, "Fo, fo, fo," where he basically predicted that they wouldn't lose a game in the playoffs. And he was close. They only lost one. But that team was stacked. They had Dr. J and Mo Cheeks and Bobby Jones and Andrew Toney, and that was an all-time great team. So he kind of became best known for that. But his star really ascended in Houston.
So with his game, how Moses played back then, would it translate to the NBA now, or was that style more of like a predominant in that time, or would he still be dominant now, you think?
I think if you took like prime Moses, say 1983, and transported him to today's NBA, I think he would be effective, but I don't think he could dominate the way he did, because the game is just so different now. Yeah. And there are just very different skills required of a big man, right? Nobody plays post play anymore. Like, they wouldn't just dump the ball inside to him anymore. He wouldn't be able to grab as many offensive rebounds, because now you have so many 3-point shots, which lead to longer rebounds. But I think Moses was so talented. He was so athletic, and he was so talented, and he was so hardworking that I think if he came up now, he would be great, because I think he would have worked on and developed the skills that you need as a big man to be great now. He would have learned to shoot the three. He would have become a better ball handler. He would have become a better passer, because that's what you need to be great now. That's what you need to get paid now. And so I think that's what he would have done.
So I was reading a little bit up on the bio as well that you had for yourself, actually. So you went to Michigan. And
I went to Michigan.
Went to Michigan and studied at Fordham, I guess. So I studied law though, not sports, right?
I went to law school. Right after college, I practiced law for about 10 years and hated it, and started doing some writing on the side with like a startup website. And then I got a gig writing for Bleacher Report for a couple of years, covering the Knicks for Bleacher Report. And then I just decided to write a couple books.
Yeah, and the first book was about the '90s Knicks, correct?
Yeah, called The Knicks of the '90s. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was really, I grew up in New York, so that was that was really the team of my youth. So I love writing about that and interviewing a lot of my like childhood heroes and telling their story.
Oh, I imagine so. I imagine so, man. That was the heyday of the Knicks as well. So, are you still a diehard Knicks fan now, or
Oh yeah.
what do you think of the state of the Knicks now? They got a new coach. They're running a new offense.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going through some growing pains right now. Just trying to kind of figure out this new offense, and guys are trying to figure out what their roles are and how to make it work together. So I think they'll be stronger towards the end of the season because I think they're kind of figuring things out. I'm excited. Look, it's weird. I look at them and I'm like, I don't think they have a championship roster. I look at that roster and I don't. I think they're a very good team. They're not a great team, but in the Eastern Conference, the way it is right now, you might be able to get to the finals with a very good team. You know, so I think they are. I think they have a legitimate shot at the finals. And who knows, right? If you make it to the finals, and I don't know, you're playing against Denver and Jokic gets hurt, or you play in OKC and SGA gets hurt. You know, crazier things have happened. So, I mean, our chances of winning the championship are greater than 0, which I couldn't say for most of the last 25 years.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I want to jump back to the Moses Malone really quick because you said it best. A lot of people don't really talk about him, right? And he has so many accomplishments. He was a great player. He played in a time where there weren't so many great players, so the really great ones really outshined everyone. And you know, in sports, we love to compare generations and all that, and people love to bring up Julius Erving, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and the list goes on, but they don't like to bring up Moses Malone. And with you and all the information that you got and all the knowledge that you got in writing the book, why do you think that no one talks about Moses Malone?
Yeah, I gave this a lot of thought, and I talk about it a lot in the preface of the book because I think it's important. It's a great question. I think there are a lot of reasons. I kind of narrow it down to three main ones. One is that there was no flash to Moses. He didn't soar through the air like Dr. J or Michael Jordan. He wasn't a wizard with a ball like Magic. He didn't shoot from 30 feet like Steph. There was no hand gestures, no, 3 to the head or anything after he made a shot. He was just no flash. So I think like people, SportsCenter wasn't leading off highlight shows of Moses Malone rebounding. And I think younger generations of fans aren't pulling up YouTube clips of him the way they might to see Michael dunking or Magic passing because it just wasn't as flashy. I think another problem is most of those guys, like the guys you mentioned, the guys of his contemporaries, the superstars of his generation, most of those guys played for one team, maybe 2 teams their whole career, right? Magic only played for the Lakers. Bird only played for the Celtics. Isaiah only played for the Pistons. You mentioned Dr. J. He spent his whole NBA career with the 76ers. For a variety of reasons, Moses played for 9 teams across 2 leagues. And so I think he's loved and admired, like in Houston and Philly. His jerseys retired in both places. He's appreciated there. But as I mentioned, he's best known for Philly. And like the problem is he was only there 4 years. So while he's loved and admired, he's not loved and admired like guys like Dr. J or Allen Iverson who were there for a decade. And so I think that's part of the problem. And the last thing I would say is Moses didn't give a damn how he was viewed or remembered. That's the biggest thing. He was very gruff with the media. He didn't like doing interviews. He gave you nothing. I always say like Moses played with a scowl on his face. But Michael Jordan played with a scowl on his face. Kobe played with a scowl on his face. And then they'd go to the interview after and they'd sit there and they'd flash that $1 billion smile. And even if it was choreographed and even if they were just trying to get endorsements, they did it, right? Yeah. Moses never did that. And so, back then there was no social media. There was no internet. There wasn't even much cable television for a lot of his career. It was the sports writers who created the mythology around our athletes. And none of the sports writers got to know him. Some of them flat out disliked him. And I think that affected the way he was covered then. I think it affects the way he's even talked about now by many writers. And because he was gruff with the media and he had a bit of a speech impediment, he didn't get the kind of endorsement deals that players of his caliber do. And you get endorsement deals that puts you in people's television, in people's living rooms in a different way, and it kind of endears you to them and it kind of embeds you in pop culture a little bit. And he never kind of took that step either. So I think all those factors combined have just kind of led to him being somewhat forgotten.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. All those, honestly, the way you put it, it just really makes a lot of more sense for sure. Because our generation, we love the Flash for sure. We love even the post game interviews. Like a lot of people want to get, and especially reporters, they want to get the juicy information out of every single player, coach, or front office employee. And they don't just want to get those, black and white answers. No, they want all the gray answers in between.
Right. Yeah. And Moses just didn't. I think it was fascinating. Really, he didn't give a damn about fame. He had no interest in being famous at all. And we've seen guys like that. I mean, I think Jokic is like that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan
Kevin
was
Durant
like
a little bit.
Maybe Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, Kawhi. Tim Duncan was like that. He had no interest. I think he thought it was nonsense. He's probably right too. But he just, most guys play the game, even if they're not interested. They play the media game. He didn't play the game.
We got Paul Napper on here. The book is Moses Malone, A Life of a Basketball Prophet. Do you have any kind of, just in the research you did, I was reading a little bit about it. I think you interviewed about like 250 people or so, somewhere in there. But was there any kind of like funny story that stood out that maybe the people don't get a chance to really talk about or know, or something you found that was just kind of funny and like, wow, that's a good one?
Yeah, I think my favorite story in the book is, oh man, I don't know if I can do this justice, but so Lefty, it comes from Lefty Driesell, Lefty was the legendary coach at the University of Maryland. And as I mentioned, Moses was very heavily recruited. And he actually committed to attend the University of Maryland. And then he went up there for his freshman year. And right before classes started, the ABA Utah Stars swooped in, threw a bunch of money at him, and he said, okay, I'm going pro. So Lefty told me this story. Moses was very quiet. He was shy. He was self-conscious about his speech impediment. He was, I would say, suspicious of strangers, and he didn't like talking about himself. So the problem is he was the most sought-after high school recruit in years. So all these coaches are coming to Petersburg, Virginia to see him play and to talk to him, to try and sell them on their school, right? But Moses he didn't want to talk. So Lefty told me he was, when he first met Moses, he was trying to, engage him in conversation. So Lefty said, Moses, where did you get to be so good? Like Petersburg there's not much talent here. There's no elite coaching. There's no like AAU scene. Who do you play against that made you this good? Where did you play? So Moses said, the State Pen, man. And Lefty's like, what? Moses used to play at the State Penitentiary in Richmond, Virginia. He would go in, the guards would let him in, and we play pickup ball with the inmates.
At high school?
Yeah, when he was in high school.
Wow.
He was an animal.
Yeah, I mean that's how he got to be such a beast. So yeah. So Lefty says, oh, and are there any good players in there? And Moses said, yeah, some real good ones, very aggressive. So Lefty says, anybody your size? So Moses says, yeah, guy 6'8". They call him Milkman. Lefty says, why do they call him Milkman? Because he murdered a milkman, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Great story, right? And Lefty,
that is fantastic.
Lefty was like very charismatic guy. He was a legendary storyteller, and so he told a million times better than I just did. But
no, that is fantastic, man. That's great. That's a good story. And which was you could kind of gather out of the story you were just telling too, kind of gather, like you're saying, like the roughness on the edges around like the media and stuff like that, because he was very matter of fact, headed dead serious. Now he murdered a milkman, man.
Yeah.
I love those kind of people that they have the character of like they're super serious all the time, but they'll say a joke or two without trying to make themselves sounds funny. But then you hear it, and you're like, yo, this guy's hilarious.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I remember Rick Barry when I was talking about Moses. Rick Barry played his last 2 seasons with Moses in Houston, and I was asked him about Moses' personality. He said Moses is one of those guys that was funny all the time without trying to be.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That is the best, man. I appreciate it too. Do you have any kind of new projects to be writing on? I know this one's just coming out. Have you got any ideas on what's next or anything? Or you gonna take a little bit of break on something? Or
yeah, I'm searching. I don't have anything big. I'm working on some freelance articles here and there, but I don't have a big next book topic. I'm trying to find one. It's hard to come up with that perfect idea,
Yeah.
Right, because otherwise everybody would be doing it.
Yeah.
Hey, so I do want to ask you a couple of questions as well, considering you have written some books into sports writing, and we went to school at the Full Sail University for the Dan Patrick School of Sports Broadcasting. And what, in your opinion, has changed in the writing world of sports writing with the internet, with podcasts and stuff? Do you have a preference on which ones you like or anything, or can you tell like what's the difference in them, or what's your thoughts on the new wave of writing?
Oh man, I mean it's constantly evolving, right? I'm just trying to keep up and figure out what the hell's going on. And it's hard, you know. I'm a guy who I really like long form pieces. You know, I grew up on back when Sports Illustrated was Sports Illustrated and reading long form articles, and that seems to be a dying breed. And I wonder if, you know, the podcast world has gotten so big that I wonder, like, are we moving away from writing completely? Are we just moving to a world where it's all going to be podcasts? And that makes me kind of sad to think about that. I mean, I love podcasts. I listen to plenty of podcasts, but I'd like to think there are room for both, you know. But, you know, it's great to see, you know, the wonderful thing about it, too, is with podcasts and even writing now, there's the internet in general, more than when I was a kid. You know, there's opportunity for so many people to make their voices heard and to you know, break into the industry in different ways. But it's hard to hold down that kind of steady writing job that was there many years ago.
Yeah, I can vouch for that actually too. And we actually both of us got to, like I was saying before, we went to Full Sail, so we went under Dan Patrick, his school of broadcasting, that he went with that, and that's one of the things that he was talking about is how much different it is. And just we graduated about 2 years ago, and just the difference whenever he was coming up in the sports world and what it is now, and just the accessibility you have to either personalities or just people in general with their writing, and it's a different grind now, you know. So it's kind of interesting.
I think a big thing too is, you know, when I was young, so I'm not that old. When I was young.
Come on now.
But you know, 20, 30 years ago, I mean, a big shift is that there was a time, you know, certainly 80s, 90s, maybe the internet, the spread of the internet is the demarcation point, but there was a time when the teams and the players really needed you. Right, they really needed you to get their message out. They needed you to basically serve as public relations for them, to get their image out, to talk about how great they are, and on and on. Now they have so many ways of speaking to the fans and whoever else directly, and so they don't need you as much. And that goes to what you were talking about accessibility. Like, writers don't have the kind of access to these players that they used to, because the teams and the league and the players just don't need to give that access anymore. They can get access to the public in other ways.
Yeah, it's definitely changed now, especially, you know, you're having guys in locker rooms that are even having phones out, and you can almost hear their locker room speech now. Like, that was unheard of, you know, 20 years ago. You never got that kind of access, and everybody wants to be heard now, especially. So sometimes it gets distracting, I think, for some of these athletes as well, that not all the teammates like it. You know, there still are those old school guys that don't. It's a separation. You know, like, we don't want that in here.
Yeah.
To touch up on just that. So, you know, you mentioned that you're like a basketball savant, a basketball historian, right? So I'm pretty sure you know the game in and out. Maybe you have played, you know, when you were little, or when you're in high school, or maybe a little bit of college or something like that. But obviously, you know, not a pro, just like us, not a pro, but, you know, we have some knowledge towards the game, right? Would you think, because there's a lot of conversation on the fact of nowadays sports broadcasting, they want a lot of analysts to be ex-players. Do you think that the regular average Joe like us can still be analysts in the broadcasting world, or do you think just ex-players are going to be the only ones that are taking over that game?
Oh man, I mean, I think there are average Joe type people who are capable of doing it, but it definitely does seem that we're moving towards that ex-player world, right? And I get that. It's two different skills, though, right? I mean, because you're a great player doesn't mean that you can, you know, that you can be a broadcaster, be an effective broadcaster. And we've certainly seen some who are not very good at all. But
Ryan Hollins.
I'm not going to call out names, but
I will.
Okay, yeah, but and then there are some that are very good. I don't know, but it's even within that realm, right? Like it's who gets. I mean, like to me, like a Tim Legler is a much better broadcaster than I almost vomit when I even say his name, Reggie Miller, for example. but Reggie Miller's Reggie Miller, so he gets more exposure, he gets the better games, whatever. Legler's seems like he's starting to get more games, but I think that too. I think there are. What are you looking for in a broadcaster? There are some former players who are really good at what they do at breaking down the game, but maybe they're not as big a personality or aren't going to be quite as funny on the broadcast, and so they don't get. I mean, come on, who do you want as a studio analyst? Really, Charles Barkley or Tim Legler, for example, right? Or there are I mean, inside the NBA is its own thing, right? But there are guys that are out there that they're just kind of riding on their names.
Yeah, I think two great examples of some people that you may not even realize were either former coaches or any of that other stuff would be Lee Corso, who just retired. A lot of people don't even remember Lee Corso was a legendary coach, and Dick Vitale. Neither one of them won major events, but yet they're so synonymous with their sport and being with sports casting and stuff. So it's an interesting point.
I have to go back to Moses here. So Dickie V, I spoke to Dickie V for the book. Dickie V,
great. How was that?
It was great. Dickie V in 1974 was coaching at the University of Detroit and heavily recruited Moses Malone out of high school, and went and visited him, visited his hometown many years, and he loved Moses, spoke very highly of him. But but people totally forget that he coached at the University of Detroit, did great there, and then we went on to coach the Pistons for a couple of years, and I think he got fired from there. But
his coaching career he was more known for broadcasting for sure. Like his coaching career, he did a lot of things, but the NBA didn't really work out too well for him, though.
Yeah,
I think he was better.
You can be a low level coach. You can be a D3 coach, and you could become a great announcer, right? I mean, so I think sometimes they need to focus more on these people's abilities as announcers than on their name brand.
Yeah. I 1,000% agree with you on that one for sure.
Yeah, because I think a lot of ex-players can give their analytical opinion for sure, but it does come with they're playing on the court. They might have for example, a 3-point specialist, right? A 3-point specialist might just be very well knowledgeable in shooting three, how to get open, how to get off a screen, how to play some sort of defense and stuff like that. And then there could be an average Joe that literally analyzes the game day by day, night by night, looks at clips, looks at former videos, looks at ongoing events at the moment, and they study the players play by play or the coach's schemes and schematics, and they could be a great analyst as well. It's just they're, like you just said, their name brand is not there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the one thing that they can offer that you and I can't is being able to reflect on personal experiences, right? So if you're take I don't know, Richard Jefferson, he can speak to the pressure of what it's like to play in the finals, or how does a team react when it's in the middle of a 5-game losing streak at the NBA level, or what do you do, or what's it like to, I don't know, recover from a major injury as an NBA player? You know what I'm saying. There are certain experiences that they can reflect on that maybe you and I can't. But as far as and that's, and sometimes the booths, they go to 3 people broadcast teams, and maybe that's a situation where you could have an ex-player and maybe a non-ex player who's, and you could get all of that perspective. But there's room for both. And I don't think that if you're a good analyst, if you're a great analyst, whether you played the game or not, there should be room for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Mr. Paul Napper with us. Moses Malone, The Life of a Basketball Prophet. You can find it on Amazon. And do you have anything else you wanted to promote or anything out there, Paul?
No, not right now. Going hard with the book right now.
I noticed that you're doing some tours as well. Where are you going to be for some stops?
So right now, so far I have this Friday night. I'm going to be in Houston. It's called Class Bookstore in Houston. It's right near U of H campus. And Monday or Tuesday, November 18th, I'm going to be out on Long Island doing a book event out there, and trying to book a couple more. But I'm excited for those.
Nice.
That sounds awesome. So you got a couple minutes. We want to do our little down bad debate on some 90s basketball. You in?
I mean, that's my wheelhouse, man. Yeah.
That's what I kind of figured.
Let's go.
All right. So without further ado, we're going to go and get into our down bad debate for tonight.
It's time for the Down Bad Debate.
All right, tonight's down bad debate. So it's a pretty simple here. How we're going to do this? We're going to got three of us in here, so we're going to do a snake draft. Mr. Napper, you're going to go first up there, and we'll just go in order down here. So if you can't see it on the screen, you're listening to the audio. We got choose your starting lineup. You got the '90s edition. You got Charles Barkley, Clyde Drexler, Patrick Ewing, Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill, Michael Jordan, Sean Kemp, Karl Malone, Reggie Miller, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, Gary Payton, Scottie Pippen, David Robinson, Dennis Rodman, and John Stockton. So we're going to go ahead and do this kind of like any kind of fantasy draft goes at this point. You can go in with your number one pick. Whenever you're ready, my friend, go ahead.
All right. I'm debating between.
It's tough.
Here. Yeah. All right. You know what? I'm gonna take Shaq.
Okay.
Okay. Why would you take Shaq out of the number one?
Try and stop him.
Right.
Enough said.
To me, I think the two best guys on the board are Shaq and Olajuwon. I think those are the two best players available.
Yep.
And so that was my internal debate, and it's close, but I Shaq is just so physically dominant that I decided to go with Shaq.
And it was young Shaq, too. That's not the Orlando Magic Shaq, too.
Yeah, right.
You know, and he was still ripping down backboards and everything.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going Shaq first. Mr. G. Mike, what you got, man?
And I got Hakeem, baby. I got Hakeem. That footwork is amazing. That defense is just spectacular. This guy's going to score any way, any will. Yeah, maybe on Shaq is going to be a little bit tougher, but, you know, those early stages of Shaq and Hakeem, you know, 94, 95, Hakeem was taking it, man. I got Hakeem on this one.
Man, this is just falling in my lap. I'm taking Jordan. I mean, that's just fell in my lap. I didn't expect that.
Whoa. I didn't, you know what?
Yeah, it's not like, what are we doing here?
I didn't see him. I swear, I promise you, I did not see him.
So I'm going to go back to back here real quick. Yeah, that's what I got these for.
I'm putting my glasses on. I thought I was looking at Scotty.
Oh, yeah, okay. Scotty's in the bottom left. Man. Scotty's up there. All right, so I'm going to take Jordan, and I'm going to take – give me Malone. Give me Jordan and Malone for my shooting guard and my power forward in there. All right, you're up, Mr. Napper. What you got?
So I get one or two now. One?
You go in. You got one now, I believe, right?
Well, he went first, so let me go, and then
I
he'll
think
get
G Mike goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason I didn't pick Jordan is because I'll take Grant Hill without the injuries. We're talking about without the injuries. If he's healthy,
is Pistons Grant Hill too.
Yes, if he's healthy, to me, I think he was like the second coming of Jordan, honestly. But obviously, he got injured, so we really didn't get to see it. But that's why I took Hakeem first, and I'll take Grant Hill next.
All right, and then so you're up next now, right?
So he gets two. Yeah, you get two.
Oh, I'm still reeling from that. I didn't. I want to take it, Mike. I can't see. I'm fighting the glasses. I'm fighting them, but I need them. All right, I'm gonna take. Oh man, I'm gonna take Stockton.
Oh man, that's what I was going with next.
That was good. Yeah.
And I'm tempted to take Charles, but I got Shaq down low, and how, you know, it's just a lot of space they take up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take Scotty. I like Scotty's. I hated Scotty, but I like the versatility, and he's one of the greatest defenders I've ever seen. So I'm going to take Scotty.
Okay.
All right. So now I'm up. I'm back to just one this time, right? Or I got two again?
No. So I go and then you get two.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like a snake. Yeah.
Usually the internet does this for me when I'm drafting. So I don't remember how this goes.
So I'm gonna take Paul's arch enemy, Reggie Miller, the shooter, baby. I need someone out there who's gonna play on the outside and give me at least 3 points anytime that I really need it. I'll pair him up with Grant Hill and Hakeem Olajuwon.
All right, well, I'm going to have to get a guard out there, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Penny. And because I need to match up with you guys a little bit, I'm going to go with David Robinson in this situation. I got to give somebody that can defend one of those other big men out there. So I'm going to take David Robinson and Penny Hardaway.
Okay. I'll take Gary Payton because the only really point guard. I like Clyde Drexler, but Gary Payton has great defensive skills, so I'd rather try to use his ability on defense to try to help out my team and stop, Jordan, Penny, Stockton. Well, try to stop. You really can't stop. But yeah, I'll take Gary.
All right, and then that would put Paul's up next one, right?
So, Paul, you have 3 right now.
So I will take Clyde. And I guess at this point I'll have to take Barkley.
Okay.
Clyde Barkley.
Yeah, I'll take Clyde and Barkley. Yeah.
And then that should be closing it out for the one. I got one level left, right?
Yeah, so I got one left and you got one left. So I'll take. Let me get Dennis Rodman, man, to get a bunch of rebounds and try to play aggressive defense as well. Where I already have 3 scores, I'll take Dennis Rodman. That's my last one.
Yeah, and that leaves me with Sean Kemp, which isn't it getting left behind by anybody or anything like that. I'm surprised you didn't go with Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, man. You had Gary Payton already. That was such a dynamic, fun duo back in the day, man.
Yeah. I just like Dennis Rodman's ability of grabbing rebounds and playing defense. Like, he didn't really care about dunking or scoring or nothing like that when it came to offense. So, I'd rather try to get 2 defensive monsters while I have 3 scoring. I'm all right.
All right, so we'll go ahead and run this right back down. Paul, if you want to go first, give me your starting 5.
All right, so I got Stockton and Drexler at my guards, Pippen and Barkley at forward, and Shaq at center.
Nice.
Mike.
I got Grant Hill, Reggie Miller. I got Gary Payton. I got Dennis Rodman. And I got the Dream, Hakeem Olajuwon.
All right, I got Anthony Hardaway. I got Michael Jordan. I got Sean Kemp, and I got Karl Malone for my starting 5, man. And that is going to be so much fun. I would love to be able to simulate that and actually to see this actually go down. So, let's go ahead and one more time, man. We really appreciate, Paul, you coming on here with us. And the book is Moses Malone, The Life of a Basketball Prophet. We seriously appreciate you coming on. It was great having you on. We would love to have you come back on another time. We can talk some hoops with you some more, especially about your Knicks. Season's fresh, got the NBA Cup going on. You're more than welcome to come back anytime you'd like. We'd love to have you back on.
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for having me. It was fun, and I appreciate you bringing me on and let me promote the book a little bit. And I would love to come back on. I'm happy to talk hoops anytime.
Absolutely. You can find the book on Amazon, and your site is what was your site one more time?
Paul J. Nepper at PaulJNepper.com. I'm sorry, it's PaulJNepper.com.
Perfect, man. That sounds fantastic. Thank you very much for coming on, and we will definitely be getting with you very soon.
Great. Thanks,
All
guys.
right, man.
Have a good night, man.
Bye.
All right, Mike, man, that was a lot of fun doing the down bad debate. We're getting a little bit different order on this one. Get that in there. It's great talking 90s basketball. I love talking 90s basketball because that's my favorite era anyways as well. So that wasn't the only thing that happened today in the world of sports. So let's go ahead and get into this other bit of news we had happening today.
News from the world of sports.
All right, so today was a major day in the world of sports, and it was the NFL trade deadline. And there was some blockbuster moves that happened between our 2 teams and a few other teams that's out there. Mr. G. Mike, I'm going to have you let you take the reins here because your Cowboys made some major moves, and Mr. Jerry Jones preached about it yesterday. I know as a Cowboys fan, you were probably like, what the hell are you doing, Jerry? Stop this nonsense. And then he came through with a big trade for you. So go ahead and break it down. What's the 2 trades that happened for you, buddy?
So the one that happened yesterday, it happened before the Monday Night Football game where we lost.
You guys played yesterday. That's right. Still,
yeah,
huh?
Yeah.
That was a game?
We lost to the Arizona Cardinals because our defense cannot stop anybody. And then Arizona's defense is pretty good, man. So a lot of people that are talking smack saying that Dak couldn't do anything, Lamb couldn't do anything, Javonte Williams couldn't do anything. Their defense is really good. Go check the stats. Their defense is really good. But our defense can't stop nobody, man. Got Jacoby Brissett out there looking like Donovan McNabb. It's crazy. It's crazy. But before the game, they made a trade for Logan Wilson, middle linebacker of Cincinnati Bengals. And to me, why would you trade for a player on a team that has a worse defense than ours? He is not impacting that defense. He's not doing anything for that defense. That defense just gave up a game-winning drive to the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams in like 10 seconds left in the game, where the Cincinnati Bengals could have won and they probably could have been, second or tied for first or whatever, however that AFC North division is going right now. And they blew it. And he's a part of that on why they blew it. So it's like, why would you trade for that, right? But then today, Terry Jones, man, you really surprised me, man. He made a great trade for Quinn Williams, defensive tackle of the New York Jets, all Pro Bowler, and brought him over to the Dallas Cowboys, man. And yes, our defense still will suck for the rest of the season, 100%. But you got to get it going sometime, and you got to make some moves sometime and get it started somewhere. So this trade is going to be great for us. It's going to help out our run defense. It's going to help out the rest of the defense as well, because when you have a great defensive line, it helps out the linebackers, the safeties, the corners. Again, our defense is still going to suck. There's no doubt about that. But this is the stepping stone into the right direction of getting a better defense for maybe the near future, maybe, or for the future in advance another 2-3 years, because Quinn Williams is under contract for 3 years. So hopefully by a year and a half from now, we can have a stellar defense that can match up with our offense.
Yeah, that was the big thing I was going to say as well. Is the question I was going to kind of ask you as well. We were talking about it a little bit off camera. Is this too little, too late for the Dallas Cowboys? Is it Jerry Jones's mind? Are they still in playoff contention, or is this a long-term deal to appease the fans? Why now? Do it.
In Jerry Jones' mind, we could be 1-10 and he still thinks we're going to get in the playoffs. Let's be serious. This guy thinks we're going to be in the playoffs all the time, just like a lot of Cowboys fans that swear that we're going to win the Super Bowl every single year. Like, let's get serious. Let's be serious. Is it a little too late for this season? Yes, 100% agree. But is it a little bit too late for next season and the season after that? No, I think, like I mentioned, I think it's a stepping stone in the right direction. Now, we got Williams, we got Jadeveon Clowney, we got the rookie Ezeraku, where the last month that he's been playing out of his mind, he's probably top 3 right now in defensive rookie of the year. If the season would end today, we'll see what goes on, what transpires, for the rest of the season. But our defensive line now with this trade on paper is looking good, right? Now we just need work on the linebackers. We definitely need work on the secondary. I personally want Trayvon Diggs gone. I think Darian Bland, after that injury, has had a slower step. We saw it last night covering Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm sorry. It looked like he couldn't cover anybody. He got killed on a slant route 2 yards away from the touchdown. Come on, bro. Come on, man. You got to put a body on him and, at least make it hard for him to grab that. The guy literally walked into the end zone and caught the ball like he was playing catch with his dad.
Yeah. Horrible. That was nasty. Even your boy CD looked up at the screen and was like, ooh. Yeah, that was pretty brutal. Yeah, so I think it's a good move for the Cowboys. I like one of the two of them. I kind of agree with you. One of them I think was just to appease everybody, and I think that the second one might have been because he made such a big stink about making a big deal, and then he kind of had to eat crow because he was out talking shit to him. We like to stir things up and all this good stuff, whatever. And I do like the move though for getting Williams. I think he's going to help out for sure with you guys. It's did you like the compensation that you had to give up for Quentin Williams though?
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. We gave up a draft pick that we got in return from Michael Parsons. So basically, and the trade that we did for Parsons was for Kenny Clark, another defensive tackle, but he hasn't done anything. So it was like we gave the Green Bay Packers initially for free. Michael Parsons, it is what it is. It is what it is. Can't do anything about that. Can't change the past. The only thing you can do is change right now and in the future. I don't want to talk about that no more.
Just don't want to bring that up anymore.
So, yeah, bro, I like Williams a lot, man. He made that New York defense what it was. Obviously, he did have some help. NFL is not a one-on-one game. It's an 11-man game on each side of the ball. But he was a primary focal point. There was a reason why he was a Pro Bowler multiple years. That guy is a monster. He is a run stopper. He is a QB pressure, and the guy will make a difference to the defense.
Yeah, and he's young too, so I think that's a big thing that works out pretty well for Dallas. I think it's a smart move for the Jets as well. I mean, they're kind of having a slight fire sale today, and we'll get into a couple more moves that they made. So there's another move that happened this morning, or happened. It was right at the deadline. The Los Angeles Chargers made a move that they really needed to make. They got a offensive lineman. It was Trevor Penning. They traded for a 2027 sixth round pick. I feel really bad for the Chargers, and because they've had so many guys go down on that offensive line. Slater went down, Joe Alt went down again, and I feel bad for them because they have all the writings on the wall to be a great team. So this move was going to help out. He's been a starter. He's a good player. Do you like this move for Los Angeles Chargers?
I do, because they want to win now, right? They don't want to wait till later to win. They want to win right now. With the defense that they have, it's getting better and better. Before, the run defense was horrible, but now it's looking a little bit better. The pass defense has been pretty good for the last few years, and this year as well. On the offensive side, obviously, you got Justin Herbert, you got Keenan Allen, you got the young rookie Hampton. Hopefully, he'll be able to come back this season, but I think that's still up in the air. The receivers are pretty nice, and they just need an offensive line to cover Herbert and to help out that run offense. And it's like, they make a trade for the first round draft pick of the New Orleans Saints either last year or a couple years ago, and they're doing it to win now, because when you really think about it, okay, so when next season, when the offensive line is healthy, what are you going to do about this guy? What's going to happen? Are you going to trade somebody else? Are you going to move into another position? No.
Yeah, they really tried this year too to get the offensive line. They got Mekhi Becton, and they drafted Joe Alt and stuff. And unfortunately, he just kind of went down. So that's an unfortunate move for them. There was another really big move in the trade market that was out there, and the Seattle Seahawks. Now, this one was a move that I really, really like here. The Seattle Seahawks will receive Rashid Shaheed. Try and say that one a couple times. New Orleans will get a 2026 fourth-round pick and a 2026 fifth-round pick for the speedster wide receiver. That's going to be a nasty candidate on the outside out there with JSN, Cooper Kupp when he wants to be able to get in there. They got A.J. Barner, and I think this is a great move for the Seattle Seahawks, who are making waves out there in that NFC East. Just keep pace with the Rams. I love this move for them. What do you think?
Yeah, I love it too. And it goes to show and to tell you guys that, because the Seattle Seahawks are a run-first team. They're always trying to run the ball first. And like Sam Darnold, he probably doesn't even get more than 25 pass attempts a game sometimes. So bringing in Rashid Shaheed, I try to say it.
Yes, that's a fun one.
bringing him a long deep threat speedster guy goes to show that they want to pass the ball no more. They trust in what Sam Darnold is doing, the decision making that he is making out there on the field, and they want to put the ball in his hands more and try to air it out. And honestly, he's proving himself a lot. Him and JSN have this great connection. Yeah, Cooper Kupp hasn't really shown what they been wanting from him since he
he's aging out. But if you can have Cooper Kupp as your third, I don't think that's too bad.
No,
Torrey Horton's been coming in as the number 2, I think now. And now you add Shaheed. He's like more like a 2A, if you will. I love what Seattle did with this move.
Yeah. I like it a lot too. It just goes to show that they want to pass the ball more, and they're definitely gonna do that with Shaheed there. I mean, the guy could catch 70-yard touchdowns. He's done it many times.
Yeah, absolutely. An interesting connection too is that the offensive coordinator that was in New Orleans, Clint Kubiak, is now the offensive coordinator in Seattle, which he got from Shaheed from as well. He also worked with Sam Darnold whenever he was over in San Francisco, I believe it was. And so there's all this connection of guys and he can come in right away, and make an impact right away. So I love what they did. So the Jacksonville Jaguars made a major move too. They were able to acquire Jakobi Meyers for a 2026 fifth and a 2026 fourth. Jakobi Meyers is a really good player. I think that it's a good move for Jacksonville, considering that Travis Hunter is on IR, and we're not really 100% sure how severe that knee injury is. Brian Thomas has been so up and down this season, and it is also injured as well. But I think he's going to be able to come back, but he's just hasn't looked the same. And a lot of people brought it up as well last year that most of Brian Thomas's production all came with Mac Jones whenever in that stretch that Trevor Lawrence was out. So I don't know if maybe they just him and Lawrence just don't have that connection or what, because Brian Thomas does not even look like the same guy at all as he did last year. So I think it makes sense for them to go out and get a wide receiver, veteran. And I believe Jakobi Meyers is only on a 1-year deal. He's going to finish out this contract and see how it goes. So it's like a prove-it deal with Jacksonville. Do you like this move for Jacksonville?
I mean, I like Jakobi Meyers. I think he's a great receiver, and I think he can do work with any quarterback, really, if they really put the ball on the numbers for him, and he catch the ball, and he could get some touchdowns for sure. But is this going to make a huge difference for the Jacksonville Jaguars? No, I don't believe so. I think they're just a mediocre team with Trevor Lawrence at the realm. Like, he's very inconsistent. Like, he can be great, but he can be horrible too, and that really affects their offense, or affects their run game, or affects their pass game. And then, their defense is pretty above average right now. But if the defense has to stay out there for so long on the field because the offense is making turnovers or mistakes, like, they're just going to get tired, and they're not going to be able to stop a top team you're trying to contend with in the playoffs, wild card, divisional round, whatever the case may be. You're not going to be able to stop these top offenses because you're out there on the field for so long because your offense can't get it moving.
Well, speaking of stopping some teams in that division, my Indianapolis Colts made a major move today, acquiring Sauce Gardner from the New York Jets. Now, they did give up a lot. They gave up a 2026 first-round pick, a 2027 first-round pick, and Adonai Mitchell in this deal. I think I love this deal for Indianapolis, and it's showing the fact that Indianapolis is going for it. I think that they realize what they have, the writing on the wall. They're going to try to go all in this year and for the future. Sauce Gardner is going to be under contract with the Colts, I believe, until 2025, considering he just signed that deal with New York Jets 4 months ago. We were just talking about it on the show here. Sauce Gardner is only his contract is only going to be heavy later on, and it's still not even that heavy whenever it gets later on as well. So I think that the contract is going to work out really well. He's only 25 years old. He just turned 25 this year. I love what Sauce Gardner is going to be able to bring to that defense as well. You're going to have Kenny Moore out there. You're going to have Tre'Davious Ward. I just love what Indianapolis is trying to do. And while you're able to do this, because you don't have to pay Daniel Jones mega amount of money, and this could be a hell of a year to finish out the season. How do you feel about giving up 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner?
I think it's a good trade, man. I think it's very well known that the Indianapolis Colts are trying to go all in this season for sure. They see the type of defense that they have, and they see the type of offense that they have. I think they have the best back in the league right now, in my opinion, in Jonathan Taylor. I think Daniel Jones is playing very well. And yes, he last game wasn't a game for him up to par, but everybody's gonna have a bad game. It happens. But adding Sauce Gardner, man, is going to be great for that defense. And I know some people want to say that, he's not what he really seems to be, but he's really great when he has great assets around him. When you got a great defensive line that can pressure the QB and stop the run, he's great. If you got a good linebackers that could cover the middle and he doesn't really have to cover the middle like that and just focus on his guy, he's good. When you got safeties that's working over the top and can cover the deep ball and he could work on his own, he's good. And The Jets didn't really have that this season. It doesn't help when your offense can't put up even a field goal in a game. You're out there playing for so long. What I was just talking about with the Jaguars, you're out there so long on the field that you start to get tired, and you're playing against guys that are A+ on every single team, and especially receivers. You're covering receivers that, the corner, in my opinion, is the hardest position in football. Runner up, I think it would be the quarterback, but I think the corner is a hard position to play. Keep up with these speedy route running receivers is crazy to me. So,
and not commit penalties because of how much they've leaned towards offense now that it's got to be extremely
PIs,
difficult.
You know what I'm saying? And he's got a great system around him now in Indianapolis, so I think he's going to shine, man. I think he's going to shine.
Yeah, I agree. I know it is a lot to give up, and there's no denying that. But the way this kind of, to me, is going to work, almost kind of like how it's worked out for the Packers whenever they made that trade with Micah Parsons, is that if the team is going to be worth a damn, which I think they are, which I'm really impressed with my Colts this year, that means they're going to be picking towards the end of the draft. And in theory, if this works out, the next two drafts, is which the last two picks that they gave up, they're going to be lower picks because they're going to be a good team. How many players have came out in the second and third rounds now? I think that the holding on to the picks and stashing them all, it's kind of an overrated thing now. And I like what LA was doing for a long time. And LA, the Rams have stayed relevant for years. They just made their first round pick, I believe, last year in the last decade. Mm-hmm. I think if you can get veteran players, you can make this work a little bit better. Just because you got this star player that was great in college doesn't mean they're going to take time. Doesn't mean they're going to come out and be great in the NFL right off the bat. Sometimes it takes these guys a lot of time. There's very few guys that come in right away and are able to make a huge impact. And let's face it too, like I was saying, if the Colts are worth it, which I think they are, they're going to be picking in the low 20s or high 20s, low 30s, somewhere in there. So I know the Pittsburgh game, I think, was a very reactionary thing. I think they realized what happened last week, and Daniel Jones had a bad week, and they gave up way too much passing yards, way too much. The passing yard defense, I believe they're 27th in the league, and then everything else they're good. They just can't stop the pass, and they're giving up way too much. So I think adding a Sauce Gardner sends a message that they are all in, and they are actually going for this as well. This was just a cool stat that I heard about Sauce Gardner that just blows my mind on what kind of player you're getting here. Over his career of 1,940 snaps, he's allowed just 5 touchdowns and has 36 pass breakups. So almost 2,000 some snaps and only 5 times he's been scored on since he's been in the league. That is insane. So I understand why they made this move, and I like the caliber of player that they brought in here. Sauce Gardner has always been what it seems like a great stand-up locker room guy. Hasn't been any kind of issues. Players like playing for him. Most of the players on the Jets were devastated when they found out this happened. I don't even know how the Jets players now at this point are feeling because if you can't get traded now, you can't get, so what is it that they're going to do? You have to go out there and finish the rest of the season. Breece Hall was another example. He thought he was gone, and they stuck him around there. All right, so the Jets. Let's go to the Jets real quick. The Jets now has 5 first-round picks. They have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years. That is astronomical. The whole thing is that they have to do it right. If they screw this up, this will go down as one of the worst things that's ever happened to a franchise. So you have to hit on at least 3 out of those 5. Am I wrong with that one? They have
5 out of 5. 5
they
out
have
of
to
5.
be great players.
The way that the Jets have been moving, man, defense, all right, but offense, man, they need to use all those 5 picks for offense, man.
Yeah, and what's wild too is that they're going to be getting these picks. The rumor is that the quarterback class coming into next year, if that's the route they're going to go, isn't really that great. There's no one that's blowing anybody out the water right now as far as QBs go. So Aaron Glenn being a defensive-minded guy, do you think that they're going to try and just stockpile on defense maybe and really, really make it to where even if they keep Justin Fields, because they did just sign him, I think he has a 3-year deal. Do you think that they just excuse me, wrong choice of words. They spend all the picks on defense to just make that defense extremely stout and hope for the best for the offense. What do you think?
I think you got to go with what's best available at that moment. Whatever pick you're getting, and most likely they're gonna get top 3 for sure, top 5 pick. So you just go with best available, man. I don't think that you should just focus on just defense or offense. Like, yeah, I was joking when they should use all 5 picks for offense for sure, but in all seriousness, you go with the best player. You go with the best available player, and you ride the wave like that.
Speaking back on what the Colts did, and they did end up giving up Adonai Mitchell in that package deal. I think Adonai Mitchell on the Jets could have a chance to shine a little bit to rebound back. The Jets are in desperate need of a number 2 receiver. They have nobody for one
Need
number
a
2 receiver.
quarterback. They need a quarterback and an
agree with that.
offensive line, bro.
I just mean for the future. Adonai Mitchell is young.
Yeah.
He's only been in the league,
yeah.
I believe, 2 years at this point. So I think that's a nice little pickup for them as well, is that they have what could be a bona fide number 2, number 3 receiver, and that's one less person they have to waste some of the picks on or something. So, and they also have some flexibility with those picks now too. They don't necessarily have to keep them all as well. They can put them together in a package to get some other players, make some other moves as well. So I will just be very, very interested in the next 2 years to watch what the Jets do, just because of all the picks they got, and it has to work, or else your franchise is going to go completely down the tubes. Worse than it's already been.
Yeah, I mean they got to get some offensive line, man. They got to. I've been saying this since they first got Aaron Rodgers. Everybody wanted to say that Aaron Rodgers was washed and he was done, and look what he's doing in Pittsburgh. It's because of the offensive line, man. You got to get offensive line and then worry about trying to get a quarterback in there. I think right now their best situation is having Justin Fields, because the guy could run. He's a running back, and he could throw the ball too, but he's a running back, and you need that when your offensive line is trash and they can't stop anybody from pressuring the quarterback. You go and you get a great pocket passer, the guy's going to have 2-3 seconds max to throw the ball. You need to work on the offensive lineman and then worry about the quarterback later.
I have to say, for the trade deadline, I think most teams the teams that made the moves, I think they all could be justified and made some sense. Indy gave up a lot, but I think Indy's looking at it, hey, we're in a win now mode for the next 2 years at least, because we don't have to pay Daniel Jones. The Cowboys, they still believe that they might have a chance to fight for this year, but if not, they made a move for the future. We'll see. The Seahawks, I love the move the Seahawks made by getting Shaheed in there. Jacksonville just needed to get another veteran receiver in there because otherwise just Parker Washington. Even De'Ami Brown went down the other day. So they literally needed that as well. The Eagles, we didn't really touch on the Eagles too much. They didn't make too many marquee moves, but they, of course, are always active. They got Jair Alexander. They also got Jaden.
Two great moves, bro. They got 2 great moves, guys.
Yeah, they made 2 great, they made 3 moves. 2 of them I love a lot. They got Jair Alexander and they got Phillips out of Miami as well.
Yeah, bro. The rich get richer, man. It's insane. It's insane, bro. Wow.
Yeah, I think I love how aggressive.
Let's just end the show, bro. End the show.
Yeah, I love how aggressive they are sometimes, man. All right, so that's the trade deadline for this year, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out, because I think all those teams made some moves for certain reasons. But hot off the presses, we'll touch on this for a little bit here before we end the show. The first college football ranking is officially out for the CFP for 2025. We have Ohio State and Indiana coming in at number 2. Indiana was the surprise. I think a lot of people were expecting Texas A&M to possibly jump that spot, but Indiana holding strong at number 2. Your boys in Miami coming in at number 18. And that one surprises me that they were still in the top 25 in this, considering they just lost that SMU over the weekend. I was very shocked that they were still in this. Did you have any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, man. We suck. We suck. Every time we lose a game in the middle of the season, we start to play like trash, like complete booty. And, Carson Beck, a lot of interceptions. Tua Tagovailoa of the Miami Dolphins, a lot of interceptions. So Miami is the new pick city. the new pick city. It is what it is, and hopefully we don't lose again, so we can still make the playoffs. But if we lose again, I don't see us being inside the playoffs for nothing.
Yeah, there was two teams up there that I was just looking at this. First off, that Notre Dame. I'm surprised Notre Dame is number 10. I feel like I complained about this last year as well. I want to have Notre Dame be in a regular conference and stop getting this independent stuff. That's not. I don't like that at all. I don't think Notre Dame should have to get that luxury of having that. They've lost some games this year. They were saying Freeman was on the hot seat at one point in time, and now all of a sudden they're number 10 in the college football playoffs. I don't think that's right, and I'm really surprised that Texas is back in number 11 up there, losing to Florida. Texas has looked better as the season's gone on. They did start the season as the number 1 overall team in the country, but I am surprised that they're number 11. They're knocking on the door. The committee really likes what Texas brings and what Texas is doing, I suppose. I was really surprised in that one. I think it's kind of cool to see, though. I'm excited that BYU and Texas Tech are getting some love up there. The Texas Tech story is kind of interesting. They basically just had a booster that was like, let's go spend money with the big boys. He had the money to be able to do it and brought players in, and it just shows what the transfer portal can do now when Texas Tech is undefeated. BYU is getting some love, too. BYU looks really good. So it's exciting to see. And how about Vandy? I'm surprised. So I would have almost had Vandy a little bit higher than 16 and on here as well. Vandy's had one hell of a year. It's week 1 of this, so a lot of things are going to change. A lot of things are going to happen. So these teams are going to play each other. Michigan, Ohio State's going to play each other. That's always a fun game. So you're going to have some interesting games coming up. But as it stands right now, you got Ohio State, who I think is clearly the number 1 team in the country. No debate.
They probably win it again.
No debate about that one. Ohio State is just dominant. Indiana is looking very damn good too, and I was wrong on this one. We are looking at a poll before the season started, and I was saying I'm not sure if Indiana is going to be the same team they were last year. I was completely right because they're better than they were last year, and I was wrong on this one. So I was wrong on that one for damn sure. But it's interesting to see the teams that are in there rounding up the top 10. So we got a lot more weeks to go with this, so it's going to be a lot of fun to keep on checking up on this. We'll be trying to react to these on Tuesdays whenever the poll gets released. So that's going to do it for tonight's show. Mr. G Mike, Mr. Stevie B, we had a great time. We want to give a special shout-out one more time to our special guest, Paul Napper. He was fantastic on here, man. The book, Moses Malone, what was it? Help me out here, Batty.
The Life of Basketball Prophet.
Thank you very much. I've been talking too damn much. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied here.
It's all good. Drink some water.
Seriously. But yeah, we want to give a special shout out there. Thank you very much, Paul, for coming on. That was fantastic. And hopefully we'll have him on again very soon. Talk some hoops. G Mike, you got anything for the people?
Nah, man. Just guys, please like, subscribe, and share the show with your family, friends, or even some strangers you see at the tailgate whenever you're going to go watch the game or go to the basketball games because NBA season is in full effect. MLB has already finished. World Series, congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers.
What a World Series.
America!
What a World Series, man. This has got to be one of the best World Series I've seen.
It has to go down as the best World Series ever.
It was super exciting. Every game was compelling in some sort of way. And a lot of people were saying this kind of got them back into baseball, actually. So shout out to MLB and the World Series.
Did you see the numbers on it?
Oh, they were insane. I think half of Canada, or almost the entire population of Canada, watched or something.
Yeah, bro. And they had almost double the amount of viewers to the NBA Finals.
That says a lot. Baseball still got it. It was just interesting. So, yeah, shout out to the Dodgers for winning it. All right, and that's going to end it for our show tonight, and we will be back I believe next Tuesday. We're going to maybe try to get in Saturday, but if not, we'll be back for sure next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Be there, be square. Peace.